Hey y'all, this is Malika. Welcome to Malika on the Move. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, I am glad to have you back. So it has been 6 months since I have been in Mexico and specifically Merida. So today's video is gonna be all about my thoughts. Am I gonna stay? Am I gonna leave? Where would I go if I don't stay? I'm gonna go through my budget and some pros and cons that are personal to me that I find about Merida. So let's get right into this. Okay, getting right into this, my budget. I estimate, and this is a generous estimation, okay, with everything included, that includes transportation and food, I would assume that I spend about $1,500 a month, but like I said, that's a generous estimate. I think maybe it's more closer to 1,300, maybe 1,400, okay? So my rent here, and if you looked at my home video, you know that I have 3 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, and a nice size pool. So my rent is on average about $1,090 a month US. My cable, my internet is $40 a month, and don't ask me gigabytes, megabytes. I don't understand all of that, so I don't know. I just got whatever decent package I thought I needed, and it works fine. So that's $40 a month. My cell phone, I use the top-up service, like the prepaid, and it's 200 pesos for 30 days, and that is about $12. I think you get 3 megabytes or gigabytes, one of the two. My pool cleaning is about $29 a month. That does not include pool chemicals. Those are separate and with the pool chemicals. So my guy, he's a great pool cleaner. He's my 3rd one because the other 2 were terrible. But this guy shows up. He does an excellent job. I've never had him not come. He comes around the same time every Wednesday. But 2 things he doesn't do. He will not tell me when the chemicals are low. And when he uses a container of chemicals, he's not going to throw the empty container in the trash, even though he passes by the trash can on his way out. No problem. You're a good worker. I'm just going to let that fly. So they will bring your pool chemicals if you ask them, but of course it's going to be at a markup. So what I do is every time I get an opportunity to pass a pool supply, I just buy more chemicals. Well, I think I've overbought because I think I got enough chemicals back there for about 4 months. I would assume that they're probably about $12 a month if you buy them on a monthly basis. When it comes to the light bill, whew, so you know the light bill comes every 2 months, right? When I first got here, it was a partial month. I hadn't been here that long, so me and the landlord had to calculate how much I owed. The second light bill was 2,200 pesos, and that was all me, and so that's about $125 for 2 months, so that's not bad. This light bill that came kind of shook me, right? I was like, is this right? Y'all, my light bill was 450 pesos, which is $25, $26, $27. And this is for 2 months. Now, the weather's been cool. I really haven't had to use AC all that much. Sometimes at night, the ceiling fan, sometimes at night, the AC, just depends. But for the most part, I haven't had to use lights that much. So 450 pesos kind of had me like, maybe they made a mistake. I'm not complaining at all. But what I did was I figured an average yearly light bill for me probably would average out to be $100 a month, which would be $200 every 2 months. So I added that into that 1,500. And then my food bill, we're gonna get to the food part in the pros and the cons. My food bill, what I do, I cook. I go to Costco, I buy a lot of meat, break it up, put it in the freezer. My regular food budget will probably consist of more soda, more coffee, more milk, bread, eggs, snacks. I eat a lot of snacks. And that probably would average out to maybe $100 a month or so. I don't eat out a lot. Yeah, so food budget is, when I go to Costco, maybe a couple $100 because food here is not cheap, okay? Just so you know that. You're gonna pay close to US prices, in my opinion, on food. I have not been to any local butchers, so I will tell you that I don't know how they compare to buying the meat at Costco. And I have not been to any local, well, once I have, but sometimes I just don't pay attention. If I need it, I buy it. I don't know how much it costs. I didn't check as far as vegetables and things like that. Now, transportation, to me, Uber is kind of pricey from Concau. Let's just say I'm going to Plaza Alta Brisa from my house. That's going to average me about $7 one way, so $14 round trip. Depending on how many times I go into the city of Merida, my bill can be anywhere, I guess, from maybe $25 a month, $20 a month, to up to 50, depending on how many times I go. I'm a homebody, so I don't go that much. So, you know, my bill is a little bit lower, but the per use, $14 round trip, to me, I would have thought it would have been cheaper. Let's put it like that. I take a medication once a month. It's about 12 bucks. And I have to have a lab with that medication once or twice a month. So it can be anywhere from $12 to $24. The thing that I have to add to my budget will be an exterminator. He's coming next week. So I don't know how much that's going to be on a regular basis. And my gas. So when I moved here, I don't know how much gas was in there, but I think I was here 3 months before I had to have, well, I decided, because the gas was still going. I didn't know if it was empty or not. I just assumed I'm gonna need some gas, and I'd rather get it now than get caught without gas. And he said it was a quarter of a tank left. He gave me 3/4 of a tank, and that came up to about 75 US dollars. And that will probably last me about 4 months because it's just me. I don't have a washer or dryer. My water tank is not just a tank that's always, you know, constantly heating. It's a on-demand tank, so that saves money. Other than hot water in the shower or the stove and the oven, that's pretty much all, and that's all the gas I use. So my gas is gonna last me quite a long time. So yeah, about $1,500. Like I said, a little less, a little more. Well, not even more, but about that. And I think that's a great price to live here. I mean, $1,500 in the US just might get you a nice apartment, a 1-bedroom in a decent area. But for overall, all of my expenses to live in Mexico, if you're looking to save money and you don't need as much space as I do, or that I have, and you know, you are a little bit more frugal than me, you could do, say, $1,200 a month would be pretty much like a good price. And that would include, like I said, everything. So not bad. Okay, let's get into the pros and cons of what I've found since I've been here in Merida. The first is transportation. Now, I've already said that in another video. I'm gonna need a car. I am not happy with paying what I pay for Uber, nor waiting. It doesn't seem like Uber and Didi have enough drivers. And then the thing is, if I decide to go into Merida later on, like say I'm with friends and I want to have an 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock dinner, and I need an Uber or Didi to come pick me up. Sometimes that's not always a good option. That it's just not going to work. And I don't like the restrictions. I'm not getting on the bus. I definitely ain't getting one of them little vans shoved up in there with all them people in them little windows. Mm-mm. So, yeah, vehicles, in my opinion, for me, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, it is a necessity. So that, in my opinion, is a con, especially when I come from Thailand, where there's so many options for transportation. I mean, every type of transportation you can think of, SkyTrain, Subway, motorcycle taxi, regular taxi, Uber, tuk-tuks, um, just you'll find a way to get where you want to go inexpensively and fairly quickly. So yeah, that's a big con for me here. Food. Okay, let me make this disclaimer before somebody comes in the comment section and gets mad. This is my opinion based on how I like to eat, what I don't like to eat, and I am a picky eater, okay? You would have to threaten my life or the life of one of my family members to get me to eat an avocado. I don't like them. I'm never going to eat them. The same goes for refried beans. Unless it's the last food on the planet, I'm not eating them. I don't like the way they look. I don't like the texture. Same with the avocado. I don't like spicy food. So I don't really like the food here, basically, which is why I cook. And I don't like cooking, but I don't have a choice if I'm gonna eat, you know. Just the way it's prepared, the ingredients that they use, the things, the way they plate it, you know, I don't like my food to touch. That's another one. I don't like things piled on top of each other and no, all this sauce and I just can't. So I don't like the food here. So let's just say that. Healthcare. I really like it here, the healthcare. Now, yeah, I had a bad experience, but I like the fact that it is widely accessible, easily accessible, and for affordable price. Pretty much anything that you need done or want done, you can have it done. And a lot of times, you don't even need a doctor to send a referral or a consultation. You just go in there and you make an appointment. Medications are easily available and the price is really good. And you don't always need a doctor's prescription. So I really like that about Mexico. It was the same in Thailand, but I think it's a little bit more liberal here. And I'm really liking that part about Mexico. And then going back to the food, this is specific to the Yucatan because I do know that different regions of Mexico have different foods. They cook different. They have different specialties. You know, here in Merida or the Yucatan, they're very pork heavy. If you have religious restrictions on pork, you can forget it. There's a lot of pork here. If you have dietary restrictions on pork, you know, they have chicken and they have beef, but most dishes are heavy pork dishes. And that just ain't my thing. So I am team chicken and team beef and team seafood. When we talk about financials of living here, Merida is, I think, like the most expensive city to live in Mexico, or one of them, the top. But I still think that the prices are good compared to the US. I still feel like I'm able to save money. I'm not spending what I would spend if I lived in the US. Except for like gasoline. I found that out when I rented a car. Gas, from articles that I have read, is 60% more expensive in Mexico than in the US. So you know, if you're coming with a car, gas is expensive here. But overall, yeah, I'm kind of, you know, I'm satisfied. I know that I'm not saving as much as I could, whether I lived in a less expensive city in Mexico, but I'm still not spending as much excuse me, as I would spend in the US. Now, what I don't like is the high cost of things like food, things that you need for your home. You're going to spend US prices, and in some cases, a little more. When it comes to shopping, you forget it. You're not going to find no good shopping here. They're US prices. There's not a big selection. It's just not what you would think. Like, you're not going to come here and save money and have all these amazing shopping options. You know, they don't have stores like we do. They don't have Dollar Tree and TJ Maxx and Ross and Marshalls and Big Lots and Ollie's and things like that. Nor do they have the selection of things to buy, because they're not real consumerists here. They're not just buying for the sake of buying. I guess that's what we do in the US. But I did love being in Southeast Asia because, like, clothing is manufactured over there. So you can get dresses for like $3, shoes for $3. So that means, you go out every day you go out, you might buy 3 dresses. When you going for milk and you come back with 3 dresses and 2 pairs of shoes, and you didn't spend any more than $25. So that's what I really loved about that. But here, no, you won't find that kind of shopping, so don't expect it. So if you have a shopping addiction, or if you use shopping as like a comfort or something for boredom, you won't get that fix. One of the cons that I find here, but it's not specific to Mexico, okay? This is specific to being an expat, period. More so, but it even happens in the US, okay, is connections. People can tend to be transient, and as a result, people don't invest into meaningful relationships, friendships, because you never know when that person's going to be here today, gone tomorrow. You find a lot of transactional friendships when you are an expat. We get together and we go out, we do this and we do that, and that's the end of it. You're not meeting people that you can consider to be lifelong friends and a bestie and deeper friendships, because people are very temporary. And so you have temporary friendships. I enjoy you while you're here, because you may not be here next week. Now, one of the ways to overcome that, if you know that that is a place that you are going to remain for a long time, or hope to remain for a very long time, is to find other expats that have invested something into staying a long time, meaning they built a house, they bought a house, they're in the process of buying a home, or they just moved over and they just put their teenager in high school, and they plan for that teenager to be there for those 4 years, or maybe, a college age child that's going to be in that college for 4 years. So they're not going anywhere. Those are people that have some type of investment, because even me, I have no reason to stay here, no roots, no investment, no nothing. So I could be gone tomorrow. So I get it. It works both ways. I'm not trying to say that I'm not included in that assessment. You get what I'm saying? But I did want to add that part in there, because sometimes it could be frustrating that, you want to get to know people, and then that person tells you, this is not for me and I'm leaving. So now I don't have a friend. I got to meet another friend. In terms of the general atmosphere and the people of Mexico, they are wonderful. These are truly some from at least the people in Merida, because like I said, I haven't been anywhere in Mexico. The people here are so kind. They and it feels genuine. It doesn't feel fake. It doesn't feel forced. It is refreshing to the first thing that comes out of your mouth is to say good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. And people here aren't mean and like Americans. You know, they don't seem to be entitled and stuck up and, you know, trying to compete with each other. These people are very genuine, kind, and down-to-earth people. And I'm not saying they're all like that, because I'm sure you can meet some that don't fall into those categories. But generally, most of the people that I met or come across, whether even a cashier in the store, people are very kind, they're patient, they're helpful. And that is so refreshing coming from the US, where we are entitled, we are aggressive, we have bad attitudes, always in a bad mood, you know, road rage, and all of the negatives that we characteristics that we display in the US. Now, I don't like being gringoed. I don't like the fact that you want to charge me a different price because I'm a foreigner. Now, how do I feel about Merida overall? Am I gonna stay? No, I am not. I am going to, my lease is up in August, the end of August. I'm gonna live my lease out. And I'm also gonna renew my lease. I am going to stay one more year. But I can honestly tell you that it's more of a buying my time or biding my time, not because I wanna be here, no. It is just not giving me the feelings of this is where I want to be for a long term. It's not giving me, it has everything I need. It checks off the majority of my boxes. Now, I know some places are gonna fall short of all of my boxes. I get it. I'm not gonna be unrealistic, but at the same time, it's not checking off enough boxes here. I think I need a little bit more modern, a little bit more busy, a little bit more options. I think that this coming year, within the next year and a half that I am here in Merida, I will take that time to explore other cities in Mexico. I'm gonna look at Mexico City. I'm gonna look at a city called Monterrey, which is in Nuevo Leon state, Leon. And that's like close to McAllen, Texas, or Laredo, Texas, or something border. I need scenery. I look out, yeah, I see trees, but I like scenery. I want to see some skyscrapers. That's scenery to me. I want to see mountains. I want to see water. I don't see that in Merida. It's just flat like Florida. I didn't like Florida. It's flat, and yeah, you'll see some trees, and that's about it. That helps to keep me, it's soothing to me to look out and see beautiful mountains, or when I'm driving somewhere to look and see the mountains. I loved living in Las Vegas because of the mountains. You know, when I did live in Florida, I knew that if I went a few streets over towards the A1A, I could drive the coast road and I can just see ocean for miles down the whole road, almost halfway down the coast of Florida. So here, no, it's in the Yucatan, no. And I don't want to live in Progreso or any of those towns up there. It's too slow here. It's like if you're retired and you don't do anything or you do very little, fine. If you are a family and you're more centered in your family life instead of what's going on around the home, and then you know you do some things together here or there outside of the home, then yeah, maybe. But other than that, it's just too boring. Let's just put it at what it is. It's too boring here. It's nothing to do. I'm just not feeling it. And I need a little bit more hustle and bustle. I need a little bit more bigger city life, so that I have plenty of options. And like I said, I need scenery. I need to see something beautiful when I look outside, not other providers and trash. So yeah, there's that in a nutshell. I will be biding my time until, what is this, 2024, till August of 2025. And then I will be up out of Merida. But I like Mexico. I just need to find where in Mexico I want to go. But I do like Mexico. Mexico City will give me that big city vibe, plenty to do, a lot of choices, a lot of food choices. Monterey, from what I've looked at, beautiful mountains. They're big on carne asada, which is beef. So those tacos looked amazing with that beef. And then they're also big on grilled goat meat. I love goat curry. Even grilled goat meat, I guess, tastes really, really good. I like lamb, and lamb and goat are very similar. They use flour tortillas a lot. I don't like corn tortillas. So yeah, there's some options. I may even look over in Cabo. I don't know, but I don't want to be necessarily on the west side, like closer to California, but that may be an option. Oh, let me tell you this. So one of my things about living in Merida, I said when I first got here, the proximity to the U.S. is so close. I can go home all the time and see family, or if I need to have a doctor's appointment in the U.S. because I still have, my insurance, I can do that. If I don't want to pay for it here out of pocket, if it's something more pricey that I need done. Yeah, I just bought a ticket to the U.S. I'm going at the end of this month for a couple weeks to handle some business, and my ticket was $717, and that did not include my baggage. That's on American, leaving from Merida. That's a lot of money, okay? The first flight out leaves at 6 in the morning, which is too early for me. I don't like to be at no airport at no 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. I was thinking by being so close, and it's only like 2 hours away to Dallas anyway, I could be going back to the U.S. once a month and see family. Not at $717 a month. I think bigger cities like Mexico City or Monterey have better flight options, probably more flights. From what I looked at, they're cheaper than flying from Merida. I'm not going to Cancun to fly. That seems like a big headache. So even that part is not working for me here. So I hope that I gave you a good synopsis of my feelings about Merida, Mexico. Don't let it discourage you. I encourage you to come here, find out for yourself. You may want to take into consideration some of the things that I said, keep them in the back of your mind, but don't let my experience sway you from coming and find out for yourself. So guys, until we meet again, you take care. Bye.